Hey, it's Sarah here, and I'm taking a walk to enjoy the nature here, to clear up my head and to get back in shape. Gee, I was so stiff right now. It's almost embarrassing to admit. But before I continue, I wanted to talk to you about something I realized yesterday. Before I get there, let me just share some of the beauty here. Oh, I can't turn the camera around, so let's do this. No one around, just the woods and the creek down here and the fields. My kind of a place. We used to get here when my sister and I were kids. My parents had a so-called weekend cottage. We got out of town on Friday afternoons and we got back on Sunday nights, and this is where I spent my childhood. Learned how to ride a bike, learned how to ski. Here's the creek. Learned all about the nature, all about the ecosystem, all about the circle of life. It's been an amazing experience. No TV, no computers, no tablets are back there, and we really spent some quality time together as a family. So now being back with my two little ones, it's like a dream come true, almost. Look at this. So, yesterday I had an interesting day, and I know Becky posted something about do you let 5 bad minutes ruin your whole day, or you focus on the next 23 hours and 55 minutes of a good stuff. I had a moment when I found myself really confused and overwhelmed and tired and exhausted with all that has been happening. Not just moving for 4,000 miles away from home, leaving my husband behind, but coming here with the kids. Moving in with my parents with a whole different change of family dynamics, a whole different style, whole different routine, different environment, different energy, and also completely different diet. And of course, 3 weeks in, things are gonna start coming up. It's almost like a detox, right, that I was going through. Oh my gosh, look at the eye bags here in this light. So yesterday I went to share my struggles in one of the groups that I'm a part of, and with people that I really, really trust and feel safe around. And I also know who are gonna call me out and are not gonna let me stay in my BS stories. So the reason I also did that, sometimes I notice for myself, look at this. What I also notice for myself, it's not just journaling, it's not just exercise and moving my body. I also am the type of person that needs to hear myself think out loud and having that instant feedback to bounce the ideas off. So that was really, really helpful to me. After that live stream was over, I was a whole different person. But what really happened was that I wanted to encourage you, in case you haven't done it before. Part is the mindset, and part is what you choose to believe. Part is who you are in your core and what you need to do for yourself to get out of your own way. As I just said, to me it was helpful to have my mentor, my group of people that help me bounce ideas off, because when I set my heart on something, I make it happen. I'm a quick start when it feels right, and sometimes, like halfway through, I can start doubting into things. And it's important for me to have those people who know where I'm going, who can help me focus on the big picture again, or when I'm flying too high, bring me down a notch to, okay, great, in order to get there, what are your next steps? So that I can keep moving forward. With that being said, see, I'm so out of shape, it's crazy. Breathing like a locomotive here. What I wanted to encourage you is to learn about you. You have so many tools available out there, anywhere from Kolbe assessment that tells you what your strengths are, to DISC assessment that gives you an insight on what motivates you, to human design, where you can learn how you operate on the energetic levels. And that's just the beginning. There's so many others out there. Of course, don't go crazy with all the assessments and then make a picture and stick with it, because at the end there's still the mindset component where you choose what your thoughts are, when you choose to react based on that, what you believe is true, what you know is true, and what you know isn't true. But knowing how you process things, knowing how you operate, can be very, very helpful when you're looking for that mentor of yours, when you're looking for your masterminds, when you're looking for the next group, so that you can really get the best support that you need in order to really be at your best, get the most out of your genius, and learn what to do with the rest. So that means that some of you might need a kick in the ass to get started. Some of you might need a kick in the ass to finish things. Some of you might need help narrowing things down. Some of you might need help pulling yourselves out of the trenches when you're so close to the grind that you don't even see your nose. So, with that being said, when you know what you need, it's so much easier to find it. And above it all, still keep your mind open, keep your heart open, because along the way, you're going to be learning. The deeper that you go, the higher that you go, the wider that you go, the more work you're willing to do, you're going to be learning about things about yourself that are going to knock you dead. And that is the beautiful part about that growth, where you keep uncovering things about yourself, where you take the layers off of beliefs and stories and things that others have told you are true and you have taken for, as a fact, as opposed to questioning them. And one of those really important for me were letting go of the stories from my grandma's upbringing and her experience. And what she shared with me was really, really valuable. But if I'm really honest, for years and years and years growing up, we would spend time together, we'd be walking out in nature, we'd go to the city center and so on, and she'd be telling me about men and women back then, during the Second World War, right before, right after, how a woman relied on a man, that she needed to be married in order to be somebody, to be even considered a human, how her faith was in man's hands, how she was nobody because she relied on his money, and how the only way out was to be financially independent, where your name is written on every single check that you get on your bank accounts and every single thing that you provide for yourself, so you don't ever depend on anybody. I have to tell you, it screwed me over to have that belief that my worthiness is only equal to the amount of money that was in the bank account that I personally brought in. And when I went through a crisis in my business, where, I had to focus on myself through postpartum depression, when I was raising 2 little ones with my husband being out of the house pretty much the entire day for a whole week, I was like, okay, I am obviously worthless because I am doing everything around. I'm not taking care of myself, and my bank account is not what I wanted it to be. And it took me a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of ass kicking to get out of that, and layers and little stories here and there still pop up. And yesterday when I went on this live stream was one of those examples, when I was something under the surface kept coming up. So for me, luckily, I learned what works for me, what kind of support do I need, how I need to process things. And that way I can really approach picking and choosing my mentors a lot differently. And working with Becky was a no-brainer, right? Because I knew how she works, I knew what I wanted, and that she has what I wanted. No-brainer at all. Really decisive move. And there were some mentors out there that it took me forever, that I signed up with them, and did not work out. Not because they were bad, it was not the right fit, and I did not make a decision from the right space. So again, knowing what motivates you, knowing what you need, still feeling empowered to make those decisions for you, remaining in the driver's seat, it makes the hell of a difference when you are navigating, when you're growing. And it's not just the business aspect. It's not just the, I want to make more money, I want to sign up more clients, I want to change the world, blah, 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 blah. First and foremost, it's taking a stand for yourself, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, loving yourself unconditionally, ditching all the judgment and all the stories, question all the beliefs that you were raised with, and literally tap into the core, who you truly are in your essence, stripped of everything else. Because when I wanted to come here from the States, bring my two little ones back to my home country, it was not about the money, it was not about the resources, it was not about the logistics. All of that happened later. First, I needed to learn that I am worthy of making this happen, that I needed the change in order to continuously bring 100% in our marriage moving forward, in order to continuously bring 100% into the business, in order to be the mom that I know I truly am. And it started with trusting myself, loving myself, believing in myself, standing up for myself. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, and we're going to the 13-minute here, is when you take a step back, when you take a look around what's going on in your life, in your business, it's like a spider web. Every single thing is connected. There's no such thing as having things compartmentalized where you just close the doors, you shut it off, you forget, and you move on, especially with us women. So I can't stress enough the importance of choosing yourself, whether it is that you want to, pick up your family and move it halfway around the world. Maybe it's simply giving yourself a permission to shut down the business that no longer feels aligned and start something new. Maybe it's finally giving yourself a permission to shut down your business and go on vacation, or figure out a way how to still run a business and go backpacking through Europe for months on end. You can do it. I know in each and every one of your minds that big leap represents something differently. But in order to leap, you have to jump. Your parachute is not going to open when you're standing on a cliff. Your wings, you can't fly standing on a cliff. You have to jump, and it's uncomfortable. You don't know what's down there. You don't know how it's going to end. You don't know what's going to come. But when you follow your heart, when you follow your intuition, and when you have the right support system in place, that's when you become unstoppable. So this is today's message for you, and I'm going to continue my walk. I'm going to go turn to the right here and going up the hill. So there's going to be some more huffing and puffing. But I really am excited about the next 4 months here, because so much has already shifted. So much is yet to come. So much is yet to happen. And so much is yet to be created. And I can't wait to share with you the rest of it as we go along. So thank you again, and have a good one. Bye.